Good morning, everyone. It is September the 16th, 2018, 2 a.m. in the morning. I just got home. I work on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I didn't get to work last week. I sprained my ankle. I've been hobbling around all week. But I used my downtime wisely, and a lot is going on. There's a whole lot going on, more than we know. Venus is going to go retrograde the 10th in Virgo. Venus is debilitated in Virgo, and then we're going to have a Venus retrograde in Virgo. Saturn came out of retrograde, so now we're under restrictions, limitations. Uh, 10-10, that cold is what you almost cold-hearted when Venus is already debilitated in Virgo. We've dealt with this the whole month, and now to have her retrograde in Virgo is going to be quite devastating, and that will continue until the 21st of November. Almost 6 weeks, 6-7 weeks right there. Let's go back to today. That's not today. That's today. Moon in Ophiuchus. Watch today. Always watch when the moon is in Ophiuchus or in Orion, Taurus. The big players on the board that do moon magic, that's their that has been their key moves on a lot of false flags or rituals. The Vatican's been doing their group rituals when the moon is in Ophiuchus. And we're looking at a 43% moon. And it's right where the moon, right now, is where the moon was when they done the 2016 Reset Together ritual in Washington, D.C. Saturn now moving forward with restrictions. Mars still in Capricorn, fixing to back up the next few days into Sagittarius. We're going to be dealing with this Mars retrograde for a while. Saturn coming out of his retrograde, now he's moving back over his shadow period, the place he went retrograde. The same thing Mercury's doing. But we still have Mars, Venus, the masculine and the feminine, both retrograde in Earth signs. Mars in its sign of exaltation and Venus in its sign of debilitation. So the masculine and the feminine off the charts in Earth signs, cardinal and mutable. Uranus retrograde back into Pisces. Neptune retrograde in Aries. Mars retrograde in Capricorn. Venus retrograde in Libra. And Pluto retrograde in Sagittarius. So we have Pluto in fire, Mars in earth, Neptune in air, and Uranus, is it in water yet? I mean, all the elements are covered. No, we're still in Aries, not in Pisces yet. So 2 in fire, 2 in earth, and 1 in air. The water's catching a break until Uranus backs up into it, and then all the elements will be represented. with the double whammy in Earth. Fire getting a double whammy too. Aries in Uranus in Aries, and Pluto in the fire of Sagittarius. But Mars is fixing to back up into that fire as well. So it's affecting us Earth signs the most right now because of Mars and Venus. But when you catch all three in fire, Mars is going to hit the fire of Sagittarius before Uranus hits the water. So you're going to have Pluto, Mars, and Uranus all in fire retrograde. Luckily, Saturn's out of retrograde, but he's still present in fire. So you fire signs, buckle up. Capricorns and Taurus and Virgos, hang on. You're dealing with the double dose of Mars and Venus retrograde in Earth signs. Air signs getting some benevolence from Jupiter. The moon in water. You know, another thing about Scorpio. I want to talk about Scorpio while I'm here, because I've been doing a lot of these charts, and again, they run in patterns, and I want to talk about the fixed cross, because Scorpio's on the fixed cross. When we read in the book of Revelation, and I saw the beast that had 4 faces, the face of a man, the face of an ox, the face of a lion, and the face of an eagle. That is the fixed cross. Scorpio used to be an eagle. It was replaced in the days of Julius Caesar by the scorpion of the Persian zodiac. That's why Julius Caesar always ran around going, "Where's my eagle?" Another thing about Scorpio, about the book of Revelations and John writing that, you know that it's older than Julius Caesar, or he would have said scorpion. He didn't use this Greco-Roman zodiac. He was using a much older zodiac. The book of Revelation is much older than what we are told. And this is a deceptive zodiac because it's made up from many zodiacs around the world. It's got pieces from everybody's. I call it, you know, this is the body of Osiris. It was cut up into 14 pieces. Everybody around the world had a piece of the pie. And the navigators went around the world and collected those pieces. But this one here, when you talk about Ophiuchus and Scorpio, just Scorpio period, it's a water sign, it's a mystical sign, it's about intimate relationships, best friends, lovers, people we tell secrets to. And there's the thing about Scorpio, it's about secrets. It's about secrets. And they do a lot of magic here. When Saturn is there, secrets get revealed, right? A bunch of shit was revealed about a lot of people when Saturn was in Scorpio. Jupiter coming in. The moon actually likes being here because it is a water sign. All right, and we also have the sun in Virgo. Let's move to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. On the 21st, this is the fall equinox. Mercury combust of the sun. Mercury is exalted here in Virgo. So you're going to have a Mercury combust, Venus retrograde, debilitated in Virgo. So Earth signs, I know I'm still having Mercury problems. I still don't have internet. I'm going to have to hobble to the free Wi-Fi and upload this video later. So like I said, I know Mercury has tore me apart this time, and Mars, because I normally have Mars in my first house. Now here goes the big to-do, people. On the solstice, you're going to have the destroyer in its opposite sign of Capricorn. The moon rules Cancer, the opposite sign of Capricorn. A lot of traditional astrology, it's a big deal for the moon to be in Capricorn. To me, if the moon has a sign of debilitation, it would be Capricorn. It rules water, so to put it in, it rules cardinal water, the opposite of cardinal earth. Is Mars still going to be in Capricorn? Yeah, Mars still in Capricorn. So you're going to have the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, all in Earth signs, all debilitated, retrograde, or in distress. I can't even begin to tell you. It's like it's going to be the icing on the cake for the Earth signs. And don't think you Taurus people are out of it just because there's nothing in your house right now. You're very much involved. You're fixed Earth. You're very much involved in this. This is the fall equinox. This is the fall equinox. And when we hit the winter solstice of 2020, we're going to have another Mercury Sun combust on an eventful day. Mercury is catching hell at every turn. And so is Venus, actually. Venus and Mercury both have been going retrograde in their signs of debilitation. And these are your upper chakras. Right now our chakras are all out of whack. Mercury, throat chakra, Venus, heart chakra. Jupiter just came out, the lower chakra of desires. We've got Mars, the root chakra. We've had to go through it all. It's been hard on everybody to the extreme. The water signs are catching a little break, but the fire in the earth, and those colors are yellow and black. This is a yellow-black ritual, like Walmart, yellow-black. A feminine black and a yellow masculine, the matriarch and the patriarch. It's a perfect ritual. And this is going to be the solstice. No, the equinox, the fall equinox. When the days are equal. The laws of nature, when through ancient times, throughout all ancient cultures, I don't care if it's from India, China, Mesopotamia, just around the world, you always measure the equinoxes with the egg. I've done the video Humpty Dumpty. It's about the equinox in the egg. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. When that egg doesn't align on that day, the time has changed. That's why they locked the clock. Time used to be counted by nature, the heavens. Now we have this pre-imposed man-made construct of time in the clock, of when the seasons actually are. Speaking of Julius Caesar, he changed the calendar as well. He had a fit and made them change it because all of the festivals were now out of season. The heavenly clock was turning, but they were still on the same day. They were counting numbers instead of watching nature in the heavens to tell them what time it is. And in that process, the astrologers, which were the Sabians, by the way, took the liberty to give us a great scorpion and took away the standard of Rome, which was the eagle. The this is what we call Western tradition or Greco-Roman zodiac. When we look in some of the other traditions, the Arabic, this is where they took it from. They call it Arabic, but this is Oriental or Persian. This is where they got the scorpion from, and there's no Libra at all. But the names of the stars, even in Arabic, are the northern claw, because it was a great eagle with a serpent in its claws. And you'll find that all over South America. If you want the original pre-flood zodiac, you're going to find it in South America. The pre-flood zodiac, because this is after the flood. They call it it's the story of the Valkyries. It's the story of the Hobbit. It's the story of the ring that gets lost in the waters above, until somebody finds it. At the end of an age, the old age dies and the new age begins, and we have to rediscover the ring. Well, we're discovering very, very old rings. There are many. You know, in Egypt, it was called the Enneads, the nines, because there were 9 planets and there were 9 constellations. And that was in the age of Taurus, and in the age of Taurus. And in the age of Aries, you get into what I call the Hebrew, Babylonian, and also the Greek. And so it was a Greek Hebrew type zodiac, and it was 11. And then you got the Greco-Roman in Pisces that moved it to 12. And so we went from 9, 11, 12. The 9, 11 here. Where the hell was the 10? I looked all over the world to find the zodiac that had the 10. And come to find out there wasn't one. You can divide up the sky any way you want to. Libra and Scorpio were one constellation. They weren't two. Mars and Venus were one. It's like Adam and then Eve was taken out. In the Americas, Scorpio is the great turtle that rises up out of the water. It's a water sign. It's a turtle. And you can almost see the turtle here. But that's why it was 11, because these two were one. Well, in the beginning, and which will be again soon, Capricorn and Aquarius are one. They're one age, both ruled by Saturn. So there never was a 10. There's always been 12, and many are hidden. Libra is the most controversial of the constellations. I did the video, Fiery Serpent on the Pole. It's so controversial, it's an issue biblically in the Old Testament about the fiery serpent on the pole, that bronzed serpent, which represents the snake, Venus, the serpent in the garden. You know, all of these elements and constellations are associated with places on the earth. Leo is actually associated with Africa, but they reassociate as fire, but they reassociated it in the age of Taurus with fixed earth, which is also the fixed cross, correct? They're both on the fixed cross, so I can see them doing that. But when they did that, they tried to tell you that the 3 pyramids are the 3 stars of Orion, but they don't line up, right? They're off-centered, they don't line up. But the three pyramids do line up with the triple star system of Fomalhaut. Right there. You can Google it yourself, Fomalhaut star system. It's a triple star system. They use one of the stars in the system as the all-seeing eye in The Hobbit, Return of the King, whatever. That whole series, Tolkien's books. Leviathan, very different here. You see the Oriental flare. It's not really Middle Eastern. To understand the Orient, you have to understand it's in three sections. We have the East, the Middle East, and the Far East. It's in three different sections for three different ages of fire. And then partially on the fixed cross, the mutable cross, and the cardinal cross. We can look at architecture left by the ancients, the symbolisms and the traditions, and know what age is represented by what culture. Like the Americas, they came over here, all the people had feathers. Well, this is an age of air, so it's either Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. They knew which one. When you talk about Gemini, it's the age of Buddha and Thoth and Hermes and Viracocha, Lord Bacall. All these are representations of Mercury, the messenger. He's Gabriel to the Old Testament. He's the messenger. So we know that's all in the age of Gemini. But then we have another air sign, Libra. And we do find that in South America, Central America, as Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, the eagle with the serpent in its claws that they keep taking away. They don't want you to know about it. It's their big secret, because the age of Libra, alchemically, cardinal air, represents the most high, hidden wisdom of the heavens. It's the knowledge that they don't want to share with anybody. It's so secret, usually they hide their secrets in plain sight. But this one, they had to take it away. And they've been doing it for ages. I would say ever since the age of Virgo, they've been hiding the symbol of Libra, the bronzed serpent, and it was resurrected. It was resurrected between the ages of Taurus and Aries, when Moses told them to look upon the fiery serpent, which is opposite Aries on the cardinal cross. Aries is most high fire, and Libra is most high air, Mars and Venus, opposite each other. And you also have Mars and Venus opposite each other on the cardinal cross, on the fixed cross. Venus in Taurus and Mars as the eagle. So as it's perfectly balanced. Alchemically, this wheel is perfectly balanced. And you can take away the pictures, you can take away the names of the stars. As long as you still understood the alchemy behind each house and how this wheel is absolutely perfect. They keep changing the images and want to change things, but that's irrelevant when it comes to how the magic works. And right now, let's back up to today. It is, like I said, earth signs and fire signs. Take note, take heed, take heed. We move into Virgo, you move into the winter solstice. Let's catch the day. So it moves into Virgo. Tomorrow is the first day. Monday will be the first day of Virgo. And Mercury's already combust of the sun. Already run its shadow period, now combust of the sun, as it moves into its sign of exaltation. So again, communication breakdowns. I've had all kind of problems making charts. I've done one chart 4 times before. The first time, no audio. The second time, I realized I had the wrong year, and I had to go back and do it again. And I had a couple other interruptions that I really lost my train of thought. Had to start over for the 4th time before I actually got it done. So bear with me. Your charts are coming. I only have 2 left to do, so if you're wondering, and these are new, so everybody's charts are done. It's just a matter of me getting it uploaded. I'm trying to upload. Like I said, I work 3 days a week, and then I need a day for myself, so I only have 3 days that I can upload. And the connection is not that fast. And today, I'm going to take the time to upload this video. I feel like I'm losing connection with a lot of my subs. And I know what you're going through because I'm sitting here looking at this. Something else I want to talk about while we're on the subject, because everybody's talking about it. I've been talking about it probably the longest. Since about 2008, I have been talking about the event, the main event. And there are many different people channeling this many different ways. Because I teach astrology from the Bible, from a Christian perspective, I have a lot of people on my channel that are questioning me about things like the rapture, the event, the second coming, the Antichrist, all kind of things. And I have my own opinions and interpretations of this. To me, the Bible is a magical book. It's the e-manual. You just got to know how to read it. And they call it the living word, and I kind of get that. Because clearly, everybody that reads that book gets a different interpretation that's personal to them. It will personally reveal itself to you. It revealed itself to me as an astrology book, as an alchemy book, as a manual of not just one age, but all of the ages. From the beginning to the end. From the first to the last. And literally, that's just one trip around the circle. Just one. That's all we get, one trip around the circle. And then you need a revolution. And that takes a revolution. To revolve, to revolve. And you get back on the Ferris wheel, you know, but the carnival does close. The sun comes up, we all go home. The question is, what do you do while you're here? Observe, learn. The event that everybody's talking about from a Christian perspective, when you talk about rapture, you're talking about death. Your body, you think you're going to take your body with you. That's not so. You get a light body, and to get that light body, you got to shed this body. What these people describe, what they're channeling, and what I'm understanding, describing to them, to me, that's what you call death. This mortality puts on immortality. That's death. This thing you call rapture, a bunch of people are just going to drop dead. I don't know what to say, because that's what you're describing. I've experienced death many times, so I'm speaking from experience. And then you've got these people that are channeling these entities that are telling them we're moving into 5D, the fifth dimension, the fifth age. Yep, the frequency's changing. It's changing from water to air. It's changing from feminine to masculine. Everything is changing. The sun is changing. Every time the sun changes signs, it's going to change polarity from a negative feminine to a positive masculine. Everything's fixing to change. It's going to change our DNA. It's going to change the way things grow on this planet. You want to talk about there are no forests on flat Earth? Well, that's where we're going to. Back to the beginning. The end is the beginning. And we're there. We're at the main event, the event horizon. I had this talk when I first started noticing this, what's coming. I had a discussion with Bill Donahue almost 10 years ago. And to me, the way it was being described, the way I'm understanding it, it's a solar system or a galactic Kundalini event. And it started with the outer planets with Pluto. And they all begin to change. All the frequencies began to change. And now it's at the sun. And now the sun is changing. And it's a third eye event. Moving into 5D, opening the third eye. Rapture, opening the third eye. Kundalini event in the solar system, everybody's third eye is going to open. Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and condemnation. Self-shame and self-condemnation, because we're not judged by others. You're judged by your higher self. Let's talk about the higher self and the third eye, the mind's eye. While you're sitting here looking at this video, and your eyes are on Fomalhaut and the constellation of Aquarius, I want you to have an image in your head of the Sphinx. That's your mind's eye. Is that your eyes can be looking at the video, seeing the constellation of Aquarius, but your mind's eye, you can generate an image in your head. The imagination is an incredible thing. We are manifesting this reality, and it's been hijacked. It's been hijacked by tropical astrology, and they've thrown us into the past. They've thrown us into the past. They've got us all, instead of fixing to move into Aquarius, we just got into Pisces. They've backed us all up. You don't want to be on the tropical astrology cross, because the way they're reading it, it's, wow, the planets are so far off, you're never going to get a true understanding. I call it a time quake. These timelines are going to have to, when that rubber band snaps, and these timelines all fall into one, people, their paradigms are going to come down. And to me, that's what all these movies about zombies are. The Walking Dead, whatever. It's the sleepers. They're sleepers. They can't come out of it. I've seen people that I woke up that were not ready. And I watched them crash and burn. And they had no purpose, no reason to live. They flat freaking gave up. You're going to see, I can't even begin to tell you the people that are going to try to commit suicide. As a matter of fact, when you begin to read a lot of the ancient mystics, and the most that we have are the Catholic ones. Hear me close what I'm telling you. Some of the greatest philosophers and mystics that have ever lived, when they open their third eye, It wasn't too long thereafter they tried to kill themselves. Some of them succeeded. Am I telling you that to scare you? No. They opened their third eye expecting one thing, and what they got tore down their whole paradigm. I didn't have a when it happened to me, I was too young. I didn't have a paradigm to tear down. To me, this is all fake. I remembered before I was born. I was trying to get out of this fake paradigm. You couldn't tear it down. I wanted it tore down. I know it's not real, but a lot of people don't get that. This is all they have. They've invested everything into these fake, phony lives that we live, not understanding who they are and why we are here. There's only one purpose to alchemy, and that's becoming. It is to purify the thing, to bring out the essence of a thing. It's an alchemical process that the whole species is going through. Here in America, they call it the cauldron, right? We're mixed from all over the world. We're mixed. And then they turn the heat up on us. We're in the cauldron. It's coagulation, where you mix everything together and coagulate. Then they throw the heat under us, which they've done. And now we're at distillation. And when you talk about distillation, that's the alchemical process between water and air. You put the fire, Aries, under the water, and it distills into the air, into the vapor, into the clouds. And Jesus said, and I will meet you in the clouds. Vapor, the word is pneumatic, in the breath, in the air, in the clouds. It's from the Greek pneumatic, which also means spirit, not in the flesh. You know, it's like the demonization of Saturn. Saturn don't rule this world. Jupiter does. But not for very much longer. Jupiter's time's up in more ways than one, and he's fixing to get a big taste of it in 2020. I've actually seen a few videos talking about Jupiter's going to win. They don't even understand who Jupiter is. That's all bullshit. They're reading traditions of men by priests of Jupiter. Of course they're going to say he's benevolent. Him and Mars both. Mars is Molech. Let's throw a baby in the fire. These are the two gods they worship. We're on the mutable cross. And we're dealing with two previous ages that are just, you know, I've done showed you Angry Ram. And, you know, you see what happened to Angry Ram, right? He butted the reporter that came over from Japan because he became viral. And then they denutted Angry Ram. As above, so below. All right. So I believe we're having a Kundalini event in the solar system. And it starts with Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. They've all been through changes that I noticed back in about 2004 or 5. I had a conversation with Bill Donahue about it in about 2007 or 8. By that time, Saturn was going through changes. Jupiter's going through massive changes. Now the Sun's going through incredible changes because the frequency's changing, and it comes from outside the solar system. It comes from the heavens. It comes from these ruling stars as we move on the spring equinox. You know, one of my subs said something about, well, if the sun is in Aquarius, then we're in Leo. Yeah, that's true. I asked an astrologer a long time ago to clarify for me that if the sun is in one sign, from the opposite perspective, that puts the earth in the opposite sign. So if the sun is in Virgo on the mutable cross, then the earth is in Pisces. Did that just make sense to you? Now, I look at it as day and night, right? Because we're going to get both constellations, one in the day, one at night. They just change places. They're both there all the time. Pisces and Virgo, Capricorn, Cancer, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Gemini, Sagittarius. They're always there. One in the day and half of the year we get one all in the day and the other all in the night, and then they swap places. And then for 6 months we'll get one and the other one in the day and the other one in the night, putting us in the opposite perspective, mirrored. You know, and you can't see this if you think the earth is flat, because the math don't work there. Nothing works. Nothing works. If the earth is flat, this sphere of stars, we can put the earth on a flat plane, but the skies don't. It's the lens in your eye on eyeball earth. The sky is round. It's spherical. And it moves around. The earth moves around. Everything is in motion. Everything is in motion. Nothing is stable. Nothing is fixed. Not one molecule. Not one atom. Everything is constantly in motion. Even things we look at that we think are dead. A rock is alive. It is in motion at its molecular structure. Everything vibrates and everything has a frequency. Everything. There really is no death. We just constantly change. That's what this alchemical wheel teaches us. The biggest problem we have as humanity are two things. One, ignorance. We have a huge lack of knowledge. The knowledge we have is disinformation. That's what's been given to us in the programming. And two, the inability to control our reactions. We are driven by fear, a fear of the unknown. Once you know, you're no longer afraid, but your fear of the unknown. If you're afraid of death, well, you've never died, or you wouldn't be afraid of it, because it's the easiest thing in the world is to die. Literally. It's so easy. It's living that's hard. It's living that's hard. That's the test. It's not dying. We are told, why are we here? Like I said, we're all becoming. We're becoming the best that we can be. We're being purified. And sometimes when you bring out the essence of a thing, it's going to come. We're either going to come out pure white or pure black, right? We're either going to come out. To me, purity is clear. It's not black or white. It's clear. If you want to have a favorite color, it should be clear, because you don't want rose-colored glasses. You want to see something for what it is. Our problem is we don't see and we don't hear. Our eyes and our color spectrum, the way things vibrate, our eyes can only see certain things. We're blind in the dark, while other animals have eyes that have the ability to see in the dark. Our ears, dogs can hear sounds we cannot hear. That doesn't make those sounds non-existent. There's so much going on around us, everywhere, all the time, and we are completely ignorant of it and unaware of it. Unless you're a highly sensitive empath, or you died, or you popped your third eye and you've seen the other side. You know what's going on around you. You know that your higher self is, listen to me, and this is how you're going to know if somebody's telling you the truth. Because I've listened to many people think they're talking to their higher self, or that God's talking to them. And when you're speaking to your higher self, it's behind you and about 6 feet above you. It comes from your back right above you. And you hear it audibly with your outer ears, not in your head. Not in your head. This doesn't happen in your head. This literally happens to you physically with your audible ears. Not inside your mind. Your mind's eye is completely something different. It's you. It's like a go-between you and your third eye. Actually, between you and your subconscious, which is going to play a big role in 2020 on the winter solstice, when Saturn and Jupiter conjunct with Pluto in Capricorn, Jupiter debilitated. The Empire is going to take a blow here. Let's talk about this conjunction. Let me go here real quick, because it's worth talking about as much as possible between now and that day. We got a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction here in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. Pluto is there. When Saturn and Jupiter meet, the door to the Black Lodge opens. The Black Lodge is the subconscious mind. Pluto rules the subconscious mind, and it's all ruled by symbolism. And Empire is debilitated here. And these stars here, Alchemy, the Jedi, this is the story. There's two stories here. The story when Anakin Skywalker comes into the Jedi temple and kills the younglings. Goats are kids. He kills the kids. Alchemy means it's the lucky stars of the slaughter, where he slaughtered the younglings or the kids. But this is also Return of the Jedi, because the Empire is debilitated here. Now, in this is when you talk about events like this, these conjunctions that have been happening since 2016, we've watched the winter solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, and fall equinox have strange conjunctions. Like we're fixing to have the fall equinox, and we're going to have the sun combust of Mercury. And then 3 months later, on the spring winter solstice, we're going to have another sun combust Mercury in 2020. Just watch these patterns keep happening over and over again. That's how you learn this, is patterns. I've learned so much more doing all of you guys' charts than I ever did just trying to study it. I suggest you look below this video, take advantage of the link Stellarium. It's free. Start playing with it. Do your charts. Do your friends' charts. Just play with it, and you'll start noticing the patterns. It'll start talking to you. Again, you earth people and fire people, you see what's going on here in 2020. Again, these conjunctions are in earth and fire. Pay attention. It's going to be heavy. The mutable cross has caught hell. Get ready, cardinal cross people. So this is our 2020 setup. And on your fingers, Mars is your thumb. Of course, Saturn's the middle finger. Jupiter is the index finger. Mercury is the little finger. And the sun is your ring finger. So when you've got the Mercury and sun together, you've got the index and the first finger together, and you've got the thumb off to the side. And this is the symbol for live long and prosper. And this is what we need to manifest in 2020. We have the opportunity to do it. In the houses of ideology, government, and religion. Are you hearing me? All 5 fingers are in play. The 2 most high chakras and the 2 most low chakras. This is some serious alchemy going on here. We're going to do one of two things. Because Pluto's there, we have a high chance of manifesting the monsters of the id. We are on the forbidden planet. But we are not the Krell. We don't have control of our emotions. That knowledge has been stripped away from us, and we're running on automatic, and we're running in fear. Well, we need to stop running. We need to stand. We need to go within, know thyself, find yourself within, look above, and find yourself above. You will relate to your cross, to your circle. The more time you spend with it, you see that you've always been that. And I find great peace in it. It upset me really bad at first. I didn't like, regardless of whether it was tropical or sidereal astrology, I was still a Capricorn. But you put me in a different house. You put all my other planets in a different house, and I didn't know how to take it. And then when I was able to, again, let's talk about Saturn and Pluto currently in Sagittarius. I had to let go of those ideologies, those traditions. I needed the purity of it, and the purity was alchemy. Understanding that when you talk about alchemy, you're talking about nature. This is earth, water, fire, and air. We're talking about the law of nature. There's the natural and the supernatural. One supersedes the other. There's the body and the spirit. The body is the natural law. The spirit is the supernatural law. And they're very different. In the material world, the natural law is ruled by Jupiter. And the flesh, the body. The supernatural law is Saturn. It rules the spirit, that is eternal, that can never die. When the Grim Reaper comes to get you, you're not dying, you're being born. You died coming here. Adam is made out of dirt. This body is dirt. Your spirit has been cast down into dirt. You're dead. You think I'm kidding? Watch the movie The Sixth Sense again. We're all dead. We ain't been born yet. Born is dying. You know, Thalem, the lamb, said, we do things backwards. You should cry when a baby's born into this god-awful world. And you should celebrate when somebody dies and leaves this awful place. Because it is an awful place. But it's appointed unto man once, not repeated. You shouldn't have to repeat this. Many do. I mean, I can't deny. I have met too many people. I have seen and talked to too many children. And up to they're about 3 or 4 years old, they'll tell you shit. How could they possibly know this? Where is this coming from? It's coming from either reincarnation, or they're able to access their ancestry DNA. Or they're empathic and they're talking to spirits that's standing around them like I did. I could communicate with the animals, with the trees. To me, there's no difference in the spirit that's in the tree, the spirit that's in the animal, or the spirit that's in the human. That's why I see no difference in vegan or meat eaters, because it all comes from the same source. It all comes from the same source. There's only one living spirit in everything, even in a rock. It's all the same thing. And if you've ever died or opened your third eye, you would know that. You're suddenly free from all these prejudices and traditions and laws. You know, sin only comes because of the law. Balaam didn't come for the righteous, but the sinner. The word sin is the Arabic name for the moon. He didn't come for the righteous, the Zodiac. That's what the Jews call themselves. They call themselves the Zodiac. Zodiac is the Hebrew and the Babylonian name for Jupiter. They are the Zodiac, the righteous ones. Oh, they're so righteous. I don't know about that. But Balaam didn't come for them. He came for the sinners, or the moonies, the moon people, from the age of destruction, Cancer, up to the present day, from the time of the flood till now. He told the Jupiterians, or the Zodiac, that the blood of everybody that has ever lived was on their hands. And they agreed and accepted. You need to read the New Testament with new eyes, learning as we're in the time of Saturn and Pluto in Sagittarius, to give up the traditions, especially those of the Old Testament. Let go of the law. The only reason there is sin is because of the law. There's only one law. We're in the New Testament, the age, those red letters, there's only one law. And it was the law of equivalent exchange. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. One commandment, love one another. The greatest thing you can do is to lay down your life for a friend, not an enemy, but a friend. Someone you love. You take their place. Stand in the gap. We all have a purpose here. And it's to help each other out. We can't do this alone. We're in a duality. It takes two. We only have half of ourselves. We're not connected directly with our third eye without having to go through either traumatic experiences, near-death experiences, or meditation, or life-altering events that trigger it. We're divided between male and female, between our conscience, our subconscious, and our higher conscience. You know, our higher conscious is aware of our conscious and our subconscious. When you die and you have your life review, you do it from your third eye, from your third person perspective. You're always 6 feet behind yourself, watching yourself. You're never alone. We're being watched all the time. Everything is recorded. Nothing's missed. Everything you ever said, everything you ever felt, everything you ever did. And it's all reviewed to you in an instant. As a matter of fact, it's a lot more intense than life itself. The review is more intense than the life we're living now. Because not only do we feel what we felt, but we feel what other people felt when we made them happy and when we made them sad. We get to, like an empath does now. If you're empathic, you can feel the happy coming off people, or you feel the sad coming off them. You don't hurt people because you hurt them, and then you got to feel their hurt. I believe as we move into Aquarius, we'll all be empaths, because that's what's going to set people straight. When you feel the pain you've caused others, then you will, it hurts you back. You feel it just as intensely as if it was happening to you. That'll happen to you in your life review. All of you. All of you. A life review is more real than the actual life. To me, we're all carbon copies. This is just a copy. This is not the real world. Everything on this planet is made based on a carbon unit. We're all carbon copies. We're the damn clones. Eve reproduces herself. She's a self-producing clone. Everything on this planet does it. Trees do it, plants do it, animals do it, fish do it. Everything is, the female species on this planet reproduces. Most plants are androgynous. They're male and female. Then there are plants. There's about 5 or 6 plants that own the planet that they are dualistic. Like the marijuana plant. One's male, one's female. You don't have that in a pecan tree, right? You don't have that in a corn stalk. But in certain species, you have a male and a female. Mushrooms, they're androgynous. They go from the egg stage to the penis stage to the breast stage to the Holy Grail cup stage. They go through the whole process. Alchemy's the same way. So we want to go from the egg to the male to the female to the Holy Grail. I'm going to say that one more time. We want to go from the egg stage to the penis stage to the breast stage to the chalice, the Holy Grail. The way a mushroom works is the same thing as alchemy, because it's all nature. It's all natural. And they're not giving you anything natural. Everything they're giving us is unnatural. When I was a child, I had probably a very serious vitamin deficiency because I had a fetish for dirt. On the plantation, we had that Mississippi Delta black mud, rich black soil. The richest soil on the planet. I mean, you can smell the nutrients in it. And I would make mud pies and eat them. I would get in trouble for eating dirt. There are more nutrients in dirt than you'll ever find in any other thing to eat. If you want to eat something that's good for you, find you some good dirt. Full of minerals and vitamins, and the plants suck it out. I don't know, not a lot of good dirt today. The whole planet's been sprayed with Roundup. It's showing up in everything. But I had the privilege of having the best mud pies on the planet growing up. But it's natural. I guess you could take a mud bath and your skin absorbs. The skin is an organ. If they can put a patch on you for drugs, surely a mud bath, you could absorb all the minerals you needed. You might not even have to eat. Think about it. Just take mud baths. Ashes to ashes. You're dirt anyway. That's all the body is. It'll turn into fertilizer and become something else. And the cycle will begin again and again and again and again and again. But your spirit don't have to do that. This 5D event, this Kundalini event, this opening of the third eye event, something's coming. And it's happening galactically and in our solar system specifically. It's specifically targeting this solar system. And it's coming from where about the moon is in this picture. That's not where we're at right now. We're at the winter solstice of 2020. We're at the event that's going to set the stage for the next 20 years. We're at the time of the return of the Jedi. 2 stories there the Anakin Skywalker story going one way and the Luke Skywalker story going the other way. Jupiter debilitated in Capricorn. That's Jupiter's mistake here. This has happened before. We've had Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions in Capricorn before. But what we've not had is it happened on a winter solstice and Pluto in play. That's the difference. With the stars spread out in such a way that it actually says, live long and prosper. We have a golden opportunity ahead of us. I'm not sure how many's going to make it. I'm not sure how many's going to make it. A lot of people are going to just turn into zombies. They're going to manifest their worst nightmares and become zombies. Their paradigms are coming down. And I believe that that will be the majority because they don't know what to expect. Some think they're going to shift into a 5D Earth. Some think they're going up in a rapture. To open your third eye and meet your higher self is the most euphoric thing you can do on this planet. It is euphoric. You connect with Source. And really all to do to get there is just to tune into it. It's a frequency. And as we move into an air sign, that's a higher frequency. And they've got us all in the base realm. They keep us in the lower chakras. Boom, 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 boom. That's what that does to you. Now turn the radio up. Get that subwoofer going and stay in the lower chakra. They can raise the adrenaline in your body. But adrenaline and fear are the mind killer. Did you hear what I just said? Adrenaline and fear are the mind killer. You gotta get rid of the base. You know, there are certain operas, or not necessarily operas, symphonies, more like symphonies, that just listening to them, no words, the music alone, because of the frequencies, they can make you cry. It can touch your heart. Well, while the base touches your, exactly, the base, the root chakra. You got to move up the musical scale to the crescendo, the event, the main event. I told you we've been at a late night double feature picture show. Here's the picture show. We're between two ages. We're between Pisces and Aquarius right now in the timeline. And we're like in intermission. When you're between the two ages, you're in intermission. And that's where we've been. It's time to get the popcorn, get your drink, take a piss, and then get ready for the second feature. The main event. You know, they did a movie called The Event. They did a series called The Event. And it was a story of course, an event coming. And it started back in the early 50s. A group of people that looked like us. They were us, our ancestors, our ancient ancestors, who went away a long time ago because something happened. And they knew it was going to happen, so they left. Well, now it's time for them to come back. And it lasted one season. And it was the hottest thing on television, and they cut it at the end of season 1. And the very last scene on the end of season 1 was a new moon showed up, or another planet beside the moon showed up. Not traveling through space, but through a time portal. They shifted it through a time portal across space. So when they got here, back in the 50s, they took over key positions all over the world. They lived longer than we did. They're very smarter than we were. We had been dumbed down here because of whatever happened. To me, Jupiter coming into the system. But they took over key positions all over the planet to bring the technology up so they could open the portal to bring the other moon through. And to me, that's exactly what the hell they're doing. That's what CERN's about. That's what all of this is about. Is we had a breakaway civilization happen, maybe before the flood, or maybe before that. And now they're back. And they're not aliens. We're all aliens. None of us come from planet Earth. Man does not belong here. We're odd man out. We don't fit the pattern of this cycle. We are not built to be on this planet. If we were natural to Earth, we would grow hair all over our body like an animal, like a monkey. But we don't. We have to have shelter, and we have to have clothing, and we have to till the ground for our food. We're not like of any other thing on this planet. You dig in the ground, you find dinosaur bones. They're three-fingered beings. Birds, dinosaurs, amphibious creatures have 3 fingers. This is the 3rd rock from the sun. 3 fingers. Mars, 4 fingers. They don't have the little finger. Mars, 4 fingers. Tiamat was 5 fingers. This is where we come from, a planet that no longer exists. It's called the asteroid belt now, between Mars and Jupiter. That's the 5 finger, where we come from. Then you have the 6-fingered planet, and now you understand the 6th planet is actually Jupiter. So we actually even have a chakra missing, or turned off, because Tiamat is no longer there. And we're here. And we had to adapt to this world. That's why the mutable cross is so important, because that's where we become adaptable. We're learning to change. In the age of Pisces, we're learning to change so that we can enter the age of air. Going from automatic, I believe, blind faith, to pneumatic, I don't have to believe shit because I know. The age of knowing. The age of equivalent exchange, the age of karma, the age of astrology, and the age of alchemy. The age of the Lamb, the kingdom, the golden age. And they can turn the clock back, they can flip the world upside down, they can do whatever they want to do to this planet. The sun is dictating this. That big star in the sky is changing. And we're watching it happen. Those of my age, we remember the yellow sun. The sun was not white. It was yellow and it was much bigger. We had a beautiful golden sun back in the 60s and 70s. 50s, 60s, and 70s, that sun was gold. And everything changed. The frequency changed, the music changed, the programming changed. And they've been hijacking it generation after generation, age after age. And we're finally at the event now to where we're all going to know. And there'll be no more hijacking. Everybody's third eye is going to open. Everybody's going to become an empath, a telepath. They want to do it in a cybernetic way, right? They want to go the mechanical way. Implants, microchips, hook up to the grid. You don't have to. Naturally, the earth and the sun are moving in that direction. Before, even when I was a child, like I said, I talked to the damn trees. I didn't have a problem talking to the plants, to the animals, birds. Fish were a little difficult. There's a water barrier there. I couldn't get anything off of a fish. But all of the other animals, I had no problem communicating with. Still can, if you want to tune into their frequency. And you never have to say a word. It's done emotionally, electrically. You think it, your thoughts are electrical emotions in the brain. You make the image in the third eye. If you want your dog to see something, you think of the image in your mind. Your dog can see that image. He can see the image before he hears your voice and the word. That has to be learned. Fetch. But you can, in your mind, throw the bone, and in your mind, see the dog fetch it. And then the dog will see it. They are empaths to us, but we've been cut off from them. We're the deaf, dumb, and blind, right? We're in the age of blind faith. We're all deaf, dumb, and blind. This is the age of Helen Keller. My dog Kelly, her name is Helen Keller, because when I got her, she was deaf, dumb, and blind. She was lethargic, stupid, everything different than what she is now. She's extremely hyper. She's half lab and half Australian Shepherd. And that herding dog, that shepherd in her, is super hyper. I call her my meth lab. She's my meth lab. She is off the charts sometimes. But she keeps me grounded nonetheless. I love her. She's my friend. Really my only friend here. I had one other friend here, an old lady, but she got evicted. I saw it coming. I warned her. She didn't listen. Bless her heart, I don't know where she is. I've been looking for her. She's probably out walking the streets somewhere. They won't let her stay with me because once you're evicted off the property, if I let her stay here, they'll evict me too. She's about 75 years old. She doesn't weigh 75 pounds. She's not from here. She let her son talk her into coming down here, and she's lost everything, her home, her car, her money. He's taken her Social Security check and gambling it away, and they couldn't pay their rent or even money for food or to wash their clothes. He's got an alcohol gambling habit. He's kind of, I call it elder abuse. She's come over to my house with black eyes before. I wanted to call the police, but if she's not going to press charges, what's the point? It's her only son. He's just about, it's a lesson she's going to have to learn, I guess. I wanted to help her get her a bus ticket or a plane ticket to go home, or rent her a room until she got her check, and I don't have a clue what happened to her. I've been hobbling for over a week, so I haven't really been able to go look for her, and I was hoping maybe she'd show up at my door in the middle of the night. And I know what all she's going through, just like the rest of us. Just like the rest of us, with all of these retrogrades, the moon in Ophiuchus. I can't even imagine what they would be doing right now. I know, you understand, the Catholics do ritual mass every damn day. They do it every day. Now understand, the words in their masses, they were changed at First and Second Vatican Councils. I thought I wanted to learn Catholicism once, and I showed up to a Catholicism class, and I was the only one there with a Bible. Even the priest did not have a Bible. They had what they called a catechism from the Second Vatican Council, and that was the law or the dogma of the church. So they don't even use the Bible anymore. It's a catechism. It's a tract. It's a contract. It's a piece of paper. It's a little booklet, a pamphlet. Yeah. I wasn't there 5 minutes. I asked one question. This is a classroom. My first question. The priest would not answer it, and he told me, I don't belong there. I need to leave. So I didn't want to cause a scene. I left. I thought my question was legitimate. I kind of needed to know. I think everybody else wanted to know too. But obviously he didn't have an answer, so the best thing that he could do was just to get me the hell out of there. And I wasn't trying to be rude or trick question or nothing like that. It was sincere. I was curious. I needed to know. And I knew that he knew. But he knew he couldn't answer that, not in front of all these people, and the best thing to do was get rid of me. I'm not a Bible thumper by any means, because one, I don't believe in evangelism. I believe the Spirit does that. You know, charts. I want to talk about charts for a minute, doing you guys' charts. People that come to my channel and ask for a chart, I call you the peculiar generation. That's what I'm calling you. Not everybody can handle my channel, and that's okay. The Spirit, who's the true evangelist, you don't choose me, I choose you. He picks who he wants. Many of you don't know how the hell you got to my channel. You saw a comment on some other channel or showed up on the side. I don't tag my videos. I'm not looking to expand it. I understand how nature works, how alchemy works, how the natural spirit works. It's not forced. It's not coerced. It can be so gentle. And I know right now we're feeling the heat because we're ramping up to another Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in 2020. And it's always like this, every generation. But right now we have celestial happenings that we haven't seen in thousands of years. The way the stars are lining up. And moving from one age to another. Taurus on the fixed cross, falling in the summer solstice. That's huge. No wonder the sun's changing. No wonder the planets are waking up. You're not gonna believe the future we have ahead of us for the next 2 ages. I can't even begin to describe it. It's beyond anything you can imagine. All the planets used to be alive. There were species and living things on every planet, and we're fixing to have that again. 2 things is going to happen. One, the Old Testament talks about Elijah coming before the Messiah. Elijah is a character that comes to restore all things. But the Messiah character comes to create new heaven, new earth. New heaven, Aquarius, new earth, Capricorn. Brand new, brand new. New circle. We're getting a new Zodiac. And I saw the new Jerusalem descend out of heaven as a bride adorned for the groom. The sun is the bridegroom. The new Zodiac is the new Jerusalem. It has 12 gates. And it descends out of heaven, Aquarius. Fomalhaut in particular. You know, be specific. It's the fixed star. It's the guiding light. It's Thalem. It's the lamb. It's the head on the Sphinx. If I could pick a single day to be alive ever in history, it would be the day that Fomalhaut rose on the spring equinox in complete conjunction with the Sphinx. I mean, that would be the perfect day. Talk about the stars aligned. The perfect day. And that Fomalhaut sits on the horizon with the sun on the spring equinox. That's the day of all days, of all days, of all days. It's like the party at the end of Star Wars, where they have the big parade. It's going to be like a big parade. When the saints go marching in. And we all win. Everybody wins then. There are no losers. Everybody wins. Everything. Truly, that's when, to me, all mortality puts on immortality. Everything is perfect harmony. The stars are aligned in perfect harmony at that point. And everybody's third eye is open. You don't even have to try. It just will. Because that's what that star's about. Alright, I know I've talked y'all's ear off. I wanted to reconnect. I need to do, I'm uploading charts as I can. Please be patient with me. They are done. I'm trying to get at least one a day done, but I only have 3 days a week to do that. I'm going to try this week to do 2 charts so that I can get 6 uploaded instead of just 3 like I did this past week. I got set back because I couldn't get out. I sprained my ankle. But I've missed work, and I could really use some donations if anybody feels generous. I know times are tight. September's always tough. Everybody's getting back to school and all of that. So at the end of the summer season, gotta buy the school clothes and the books, and I used to do all that myself, so I know it can be as tough as having to play the Christmas game. Alright, you know, and, well, I might make a video about my friend Veronica later. I need to try to find her. But go out, commit your random acts of kindness. Create them. A smile, open a door, help somebody up. Just sit and listen if somebody needs to talk. That's one of the kindest things you can do, is to allow other people to vent without reacting or brushing them off. Being there for each other. Being there. Being there for one another. That's the greatest thing we can do for each other. It's just to be there. Alright, people.